Greetings, Earthlings, fellow Earthlings, and welcome to another New Moon Report with me, Manda O'Brien, Astrology Mystica. Astrology for Mystics, those on the path to know who you are, to actualize your potential in this lifetime using the wisdom of astrology and the gifts of astrology. We're going to be speaking about the new moon in Taurus today, and this is our second new moon in Taurus. We're having a very interesting lunar year thus far. The lunar year began with a new moon in Pisces, and then we had a second new moon in Pisces. Then the lunar cycle skipped the sign of Aries, and we had a new moon in Taurus on May 16th. And now we're having our second new moon in Taurus on June 14th. So it's always so interesting when you're using the natural sky, which we are, the natural size of the constellations and positions of the planets. It's very illogical in certain ways. Nature does not always repeat and follow mathematical prerogatives, and I love that about using the natural sky. So this lunar year in 2026, we're sort of having a do-over opportunity with each new moon that we've had so far, because Pisces is such a large constellation. And now that we've arrived here in June at the second new moon at the end of Taurus, at 32 degrees of Taurus, we're having an opportunity to go deeper into the themes that have come up over the last month since the first new moon in Taurus on May 16th. This new moon is marked by some very powerful influences. And we're going to see, as the month unfolds, as this lunar month unfolds, some very strong mystical transformational energies at play, at work. And depending on where this new moon is happening in your own birth chart, will determine which area of your life this new energy is coming in. So you can go down below in the description, and there's a link to a free True Sky chart calculator, and you can take a look and see where the end of Taurus is, which house the end of Taurus is in your own personal chart. But for anyone with Taurus or Scorpio Ophiuchus placements, this new moon is going to be very powerful, and it will be completing a long cycle for you and bringing in some very new transformational energy to what you really value and prioritize in your life, not just in the physical world, but also internally. Okay, so you can see if we look at the chart here, on the right side of the chart, we have the sun and the moon at 32 degrees of Taurus. We have Mercury at 20 degrees of Gemini, Jupiter at 28 degrees of Gemini, coming right close to the end of Gemini, Venus, who has recently moved into Cancer, the South Node in Leo, and then on the other side of the chart we have Black Moon Lilith at 4 degrees of Ophiuchus, getting closer to the galactic center. And then down below we have Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, the North Node in Aquarius, Neptune in Pisces, Saturn in Pisces, Chiron coming to the end of Pisces, Mars in Aries approaching the end of Aries, and Uranus at 11 degrees of Taurus. So that's just an overview of where everybody is. So the main aspect that this new moon is making is an opposition to Black Moon Lilith, which is in Ophiuchus, because Scorpio Ophiuchus is the polarity point of Taurus. Taurus is about our values, our physical reality, what we own, what we possess, what we enjoy, the body, all these physical aspects of our lives, but very much also about how we move forward, how we manifest in our lives. And with the opposite being a fucus with this new moon, this opposition over to Black Moon Lilith, there's a lot of transformational energy coming in to our physical reality and to what's manifesting in our physical lives. And it's coming in through our inner connection to the mysteries of life. It's coming in through our work on releasing what has been suppressed in us, whether we have suppressed it or it's been suppressed through society, through our experiences in the world. But one way or the other, there's energy here that's being revealed to us, and we're having a new beginning in terms of our relationship with our own primal, mystical relationship with the universe, because a fucus is the connection to source. And with Black Moon Lilith there, it's really giving us a fantastic opportunity to see and release anything that's been in the way of us really showing up as our true mystical self, as our true natural design in the physical world, Taurus. So this is a very powerful axis to be working with. Anything that has to do with the galactic center is very powerful when it comes to our destiny and our soul. So this is a great new moon to set new intentions around what you want to bring, you could say, from the hidden realms of who you are into the world, into material form, and to pay attention to opportunities that may present themselves, new doors that may open in regards to this. The new moon and sun are also making an aspect to Chiron in Pisces, which is also connected to this theme of healing our relationship with Source. And in this situation, it's healing our relationship with Source through the energies of Taurus and Pisces. And these are very beautiful energies, earth and water. So this is very much about what we're feeling and also what we're creating, how we're manifesting things in our lives. And there's a lot of support here to heal that relationship, to heal our creative relationship with ourselves and with life. And Chiron is making a square over to Pluto. So this healing that we're having the opportunity to work with here is very much connected to unconscious patterns that we've taken on from the world, from society, from our tradition that we may have grown up in, religious systems we may have grown up in. And we're having an opportunity here to bring in healing to that area and to be able to integrate what has been and come into a more powerful present time experience of who we are. This is a very nice healing opportunity and very powerful. So it's important to take it slow whenever you have Taurus in the limelight, to take it slow and easy and to relax and enjoy whatever this process is for you, whatever's unfolding in your world. We also have Saturn down there in Pisces, and he is trine to Black Moon Lilith in Ophiuchus. And this is a harmonious aspect where the energy is flowing between these two placements. And Saturn expressing through Pisces has a lot to do with spiritual mastery and our own self-mastery. And again, this is a supportive aspect. So Saturn is supporting us in unraveling whatever has been suppressed, whatever ways we have not allowed our power to present itself, the power of our heart, our mystical power that we've been given by the universe. Not power over, just power that comes from within us, that is natural. It's a gift. So this is really nice to see this support here with Saturn. He's square to Mercury, so there may be some changes in the way that we communicate and the way that we express ourselves over the next month. We may find that it's necessary to be more deliberate, Saturn, to be more discerning about our communication, because Mercury is expressing through Gemini, and he's very strong there. The mental component of Mercury, the psychic component of Mercury is very strong in Gemini. So Saturn is giving us some guidance, you could say, to stay connected to our feelings when it comes to our communication. Pisces, to stay connected to a compassionate response, not only to ourselves, but to others. So this is a very nice support, I feel, for this powerful transformation that's coming in with this new moon. So we also see here that Jupiter and Venus are making squares to Chiron. So this is going to give us an opportunity. Jupiter is in Gemini, approaching the very end of Gemini. And this has to do with our ability to learn, our ability to expand our mind, to bring in new information, to bring in more balance between the left and the right brain, to maybe heal areas where we may not have trusted our intuition, where we may not have trusted our guidance. This is going to give us the opportunity to see where we have not been honoring our inner voice of our true nature and what's coming from source. And Venus is also making a square to Chiron, so it's also related to healing areas where we may not have valued ourselves, where we may not have loved and nurtured ourselves. And we may have taken on identities that relate to the spiritual wound, Chiron and Pisces, that are now ready to be released and transformed. Because Chiron really is giving us the opportunity to grow up, to become more mature, to step deeper into who we are without these limitations, without the baggage that we may have been carrying throughout our life. And this new moon is a new cycle in terms of us really honoring our hearts and who we are, so that we can bring that energy and use it to create and to share in the world through our relationships, because Taurus has a lot to do with relationships. It's ruled by Venus. And Venus being here in Cancer is a very nurturing, very heart-centered, very sensitive place that our hearts are in. And it's beautiful, but it can also be a little unnerving. It can be a little exposing. And Cancer doesn't like to be exposed too much, even though it's opposite to Pluto there. We've got Jupiter and Venus opposite to Pluto in Capricorn retrograde. So we're working on being able to feel more stability in our vulnerability, in our sensitivity, and in revealing that, in standing in that, in expanding that with Jupiter there, with Venus. So I feel the signature, the overall energy of this new moon cycle is an opportunity to really step in to a much deeper physical manifestation of who we are by honoring what we have been through and yet allowing it to dissolve into the past where it is, and nurturing ourselves through this process with Venus in Cancer, being very self-compassionate. And there is a sextile there between Mercury and Mars in Aries. So our physical outgoing energy, Mars in Aries, is quite strong. And connected with Mercury, there can be a lot of communication that wants to happen that can be of a fiery nature and that can be very, you could say, very straight, very direct. And so it's nice that we have Venus there in Cancer to kind of soften Mars's energy a little bit. It's great to have that dynamic energy, but in terms of our communication, to soften it a little bit, not only with others in our relationships, but also internally with ourselves. And we also have Venus and Jupiter trine to Neptune. This is really beautiful because Neptune is the higher octave of Venus. Neptune, you could say, is unconditional love for ourselves and our connection to Source through unconditional love and compassion and trust. And Venus is more the worldly expression of that through our relationships, through artistic, creative expression. And to have those trines there means that we are being given the opportunity to take whatever we're working with, whatever we're learning through our hearts, through our creativity, to a higher level with Neptune, to be able to see a bigger picture, a deeper experience of whatever is going on, and to be able to relax with the process, to allow it to happen, rather than pushing it, rather than forcing it, or feeling impatient. Mars can be a little impatient in Aries. So all of this nice support that we have in the water signs and in the earth signs is helping us to ground and relax with whatever transformational process this new moon initiates, that will continue to unfold as it builds towards the full moon, which will be in Sagittarius towards the end of June. So, thank you for joining me. Thank you for subscribing and for sharing my videos, for your comments. I really appreciate it. And I wish you a very powerful, transformational month ahead where you really see the healing that you've been working on with yourself and with the world and with your relationships begin to manifest with this beautiful, powerful new moon in Taurus on June 14th. In closing, I'd like to say that this is a great new moon to write things down, with Gemini in the mix here, with Jupiter and Mercury there in Gemini. This is a great new moon to set intentions and to write things down so that they're very clear. And it can also be a great time to communicate with people around your intentions and to have conversations about what you'd like to see manifesting in your life physically through this new moon in Taurus. But above and beyond all of that, it's a great time for you to cultivate a deeper, more harmonious relationship internally with your own inner voice. And if any judgment or self-criticism or self-limitation arises internally, to meet that with love and compassion and patience and understanding for yourself and for your experience, and to open yourself to receive the healing potential that this new moon has to offer over the next lunar month. So thank you for joining me, and I'll be back with the full moon at the end of June. Ciao for now.